Hi guys, thanks for tuning in once again. Today we're going to go over some things in my Legend of Zelda collection. Legend of Zelda is probably my favorite series of all time. I love collecting for it. I love all the games. I've beaten every game several times, aside from the CDI ones, which I don't include, but everything else is fair game. As you can see here, this is just some of my collection. I've been collecting Zelda for quite a while now. I have a lot of different things, consoles, different variations of games, obviously memorabilia. This isn't even everything, this is just what I can show right now. So I want to go through some of the things that I really like in the collection that I think might be unique or just what are my personal favorites. I hope you like it. Okay guys, first up, this is a Majora's Mask 3D watch. I believe it was from EB Games. It's got a nice tin with Majora's Mask logo on the front, as well as some artwork with Link. The watch itself has Majora's Mask on the face. Nice purple ring around it as well. It's a cool little watch. It wasn't overly expensive, but it's harder to find now because Majora's Mask came out quite a while ago, and they stopped producing them after a while. This is the new Nintendo 3DS Majora's Mask Edition. This came out with the launch of Majora's Mask 3D when it was redone. You pretty much had to special order this console in order to guarantee that you were going to get it. It sold out very fast. That being said, they still sell on eBay and places like that, but they're essentially the same price as when they came out, if not a little more. They're very sought after by collectors. It's got a nice monogrammed picture of Majora on the face. It's gold and black, typical Zelda colors, but very nice. This next item is a steelbook case for Skyward Sword that was only available in Canada at a store called Future Shop, which no longer exists. It's got a black Skyward Sword cover on the front and a really nice depiction of Link on the back with Fi, his kind of partner for that game. It was the original artwork that was done before the game was actually released, and nobody really knew what the game was going to be about. The inside of it is the typical Skyward Sword game, along with the instruction manual. This one doesn't have the Goddess of the Symphony CD with it, it's strictly the game, but even the inside of the case is nice. It's got different artwork in there as well. This next item is obviously the Master Sword from Breath of the Wild. This came in the special collector's edition, the Master Edition of Breath of the Wild on launch day. It was definitely more expensive, around $200 for the complete edition. Came with the game, this Master Sword. I believe it came with a map, a coin, maybe a couple other things. A really nice box as well. It's a very nice piece. Probably one of the better pack-ins that Nintendo has ever done with a special edition. Next is a figurine. This is Ganon from Wind Waker. This is a World of Nintendo figurine. Probably one of my favorite, especially because it's Ganondorf. One of my favorite depictions of him. Probably the best art style that I think he's been drawn in. I just love the way the character looks, from his face to his body, the different kind of tribal scribings he has on him. I really like this character, and I really like this figure. Very detailed. Moving on, we have another set of figurines. These are Link from A Link Between Worlds. These are from Figma, which are Japanese origin. Very nice characters, very detailed. They come with many accessories, little Master Swords and shields and bombs. These are two different ones, just two different sets apparently, but most of the same items are in both of these. One just has more of them. These are usually pretty pricey to find because they are imported from Japan, but they are worth it. They're very detailed, really nice to have in a collection. On to the next item. This is the Guardian Amiibo from Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Obviously during the Amiibo craze, when Breath of the Wild came out, they released a huge line of different characters. This was probably the one that everybody wanted the most because it was the Guardian, it's big in size, it was more expensive. So if you can find them, they're generally pretty pricey now, just because they were all bought up. I haven't seen them in stores forever. So if you have one, hold on to it because it will probably be one of the more valuable amiibo one day. This next one is a book that was released. It's The Legend of Zelda Arts and Artifacts. It contains many different pictures and drawings throughout the Zelda series. Really fantastic book, some really great artwork in there. This is the special edition. It comes with the overlay, which is the Master Sword. If you pull it off, it looks like you're unsheathing the sword. Plus, it also has gilded edges, so the pages are gold, if you can see from the top. This is a beautiful book. It's very limited. There was only 10,000 of these ones made, so I was happy to get one when I pre-ordered it. I don't know if you can get them anymore, but if you can, I imagine they've gone up in price quite a bit. This is the 32 gig bundle. It comes with Hyrule Historia, which you can download onto the console and view it digitally. It also comes with a copy of Zelda Wind Waker HD, of course. And the biggest difference is the gamepad has some monogrammed Zelda insignia on it. That is about the only difference. It's not necessarily the greatest console that Nintendo has ever done for the Zelda line, but it is neat to have, especially considering it has the Zelda insignia, and because of the box itself is nice. Okay guys, moving on to some of the games I have. This is freshly picked Tingle's Rosy Rupee Land. Yes, you heard me correct. That's what it's called. This was a spin-off game of The Legend of Zelda. Obviously, Tingle has appeared in different Nintendo games from The Legend of Zelda, and he got his own spin-off. This is a puzzle game. It is a Japanese exclusive, so you cannot play it unless you have a Japanese Nintendo DS because they are region locked. I have never played this game because I don't own one, but I wanted it for the collection because of Tingle, just because he is a character in the Zelda universe, and I thought it was a neat little addition. Moving on, here are a few more different games that I have in my collection. To the far left is A Link to the Past. This is the Japanese version for the Super Famicom. Exact same game. I wanted it just because at that time I didn't have A Link to the Past for the North American version. It still plays just as well. It is in Japanese, but if you can get past most of it, it still plays exactly the same. Very good game. The one in the middle is a ROM hack. It's called Legend of Zelda Parallel Worlds. It runs off the Link to the Past engine, and essentially is a new story. There's some new characters. The difficulty is increased. So if you're a fan of the Link to the Past but haven't had an opportunity to play anything different, this is a nice one to get. You can buy it off different websites. It's a good game. And then on the far right is the Nintendo 64 Ocarina of Time Japanese version. I wanted this for my collection just to complete it. I'm trying to get the Japanese versions of all the games. I really like this, especially the cover, the art style. I think it's infinitely better than what the North American version got. It looks very nice on a shelf, and you can play it as well. If your N64 is modded, you can still play it. You just need to be able to read Japanese in some spots, and that's about it. And moving on, this is the rarest game in my Zelda collection that I have. This is The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker combo disc with Metroid Prime. This was included in certain GameCubes for sale during a certain period, a very short period of Christmas time one year, I think 2005. And the only way that this was available was within those consoles. It's not for resale, it says so on the back. So you couldn't go into a store and buy this. The only way you could get it is through the console. Very expensive. At last kind of look, it was between $300 and $400, making it, one of the more expensive Zelda titles that you'll ever find out there. Very happy to have it. Took a long time to get it. This one is mint condition. So it's definitely a centerpiece of my collection when people look at it and wonder what it is.